Hello, and welcome to Eros Loves Tarot. Today we are going to be doing a pick a card reading, something new to the channel, and in this case it is going to be a past lives reading. There will be one past life per group. We will explore what happened to that person in the early part of their life, and then we shall pull some tarot cards to help us see into what happened to the person in their life and what lessons they have in that lifetime that we can incorporate into our current situation and our life moving forward. Sort of what lessons that individual has to teach us. We have three groups, three piles. The first, a lovely malachite and azurite stone, a lapis lazuli sphere, and an obsidian sphere. Go ahead and take your time choosing between the three groups. Tune in to your inner knowing and trust that the group that you choose is the one that is right for you. If it, however, does not resonate, perhaps another group would better fit you. If none of them resonate, then, well, there is a message in here somewhere for you. Just follow your heart and enjoy. Okay. Group number 1. Here's your reading. Those who chose the malachite and azurite stone, your card is Enchant the Everyday Autumn Magic. The past life energy that I get from this card is one that would have taken place somewhere in, say, UK, Ireland. For sure, the Atlantic Northwest. A female who I would say was at least of the merchant class. She was fairly well-to-do. She loved to read, she loved fantasy, and she loved making every day magical. At least in her mind. She had a good outlook on life. However, she did feel lonely at times, depressed at times, but had good morals, a good head on her shoulders, and overall, a decent life. Her father was a merchant, and he took good care of her. Traditional, religious, but a good home environment. Her mother felt a little distant. Good to her, but traditional and distant. She loved the forest. She loved the nature that existed in her little part of the world. And she loved the sunsets, the sunrises, the birds in the trees, spring, but especially autumn. She was a bit of a girl's girl, feminine, and she dreamed of a life of magic, of fantasy. She dreamed of being the hero of her own story, but in her waking life, she did not always feel that was so. Sort of that most of the choices of life were made for her. I think she also enjoyed tales from the East, from the Orient, as it were. She liked the ideas of that culture. And I think often fantasized about being a princess of the Orient. She was in good health. And although she wished for a happy life, eventually a happy marriage, and presumably a happy family, I do not feel that that was something that she really felt she needed. wasn't something that she had to have. It wasn't something that she spent most of her days dreaming about. A relationship, a husband. If the perfect one came along, then she would be happy to accept, of course, but it was not something that she was actively seeking out. She was happy in her fantasies. Okay, let's get a few tarot cards. I would like to know what outcomes she had in her life, what lessons she has to teach us in this one. And there we go. Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Ah, Magician. Can you see these? Let me scoot this up a little bit. Temperance. Very interesting. And the Lovers. Wow. 3 major arcana. So, in the case of the Magician, this explains the magic, the connection to magic, the connection to fantasy, the connection to manifestation that she lived in. And the lesson that she wants to teach us is to enchant your everyday, to believe in magic, to make every day magical, even if you have to do it just in your mind. Visualize, feel the magic that exists in all things, appreciate the magic that is all around us and the magic that is within ourselves. Make every day magical. She believed in magic, and so can you. Temperance. The divine is always with us. The divine is watching. Faith. Especially in magic. The magic of yourself, the magic of the universe, the magic of the divine is very important. She had faith. Might not have always been in what everyone told her to believe in, but she had a faith within herself about the magic that exists within all things, the magic that she knew of in nature, and the magic that existed within herself. And the Lovers. Also, once known was known as the Choice. This goes back to living a life of love. Love and magic are very similar energies. Love is sort of the essence of all things. If you were to boil down all energy and all life and all existence, all matter, all everything, it would be something very close to love. To live every day like it's magic is to live in love. And this is something else that she could teach us. Enchanting every day, living every day as magical, is to live every day in love. To be in love with ourselves, to be in love with the life around us, to be in love with the divine, with the universe, with our partner, if we have one, with our family, with our children, with our animals. To live in love, to believe in love, to believe in magic. She did go on to marry. She met a nice boy from a good family. Another merchant class family. They had a couple of kids. A boy and a girl. And they lived happily for quite some time. He was good to her. She was good to him. They treated their kids well, their family well. They had dogs. And they lived a good life. It might not have been as long of a life as we live nowadays, but it was good. And she never gave up on magic. She lived every day like it was magical. She taught this to her children as well. And one of them, I want to say it was the girl, went on to be an author. Yeah, a fiction author of some kind. She continued on the legacy of believing in magic, of believing in love. Oh, that's a great story. And that is all for pile 1. Thank you for joining me. If you wish, tag along to pile 2 and possibly pile 3. If this is all, then I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be speaking with you again soon. Take care. Bye. Welcome, pile 2. If you chose the lapis lazuli sphere, welcome. Face your fear, passion, and power. So, for this previous lifetime, I am definitely feeling a feminine energy, a young woman who most likely grew up in Japan. She loved looking up at the moon. She loved the falling petals of the sakura trees, the cherry trees. She loved the spring, this summer. And she dreamed of a life of love. A life spent with a special someone. A life of abundance, a life of freedom, a life of emotional comfort, a life of connection and sovereignty. It was something she was willing to fight for. It was something that she was willing to go against the grain, to buck trends, to buck tradition, and to make happen. Not just to manifest with the mind, but to physically make happen. She was a passionate individual. She had a very strong personality and head on her shoulders. She could be meek and timid if the situation called for it, but she did so on purpose. It was, she was always in control of how she was perceived in any situation. She did so purposefully. She could be very authentic, but only with people that she deemed worthy, of course. I feel that she had a lot of feminine connections. Sisters, perhaps. Aunties. Mother. Her father was a strong man. Strong of personality, strong of character, strong of morals, very dedicated to his family. She looked up to him, perhaps even idolized him. He was someone who followed tradition, but also did not believe in the restrictions of tradition. He believed in the possibility of future, and I think she got a lot of those ideas. And her mother did not limit her either. She was loved. She was enjoyed by many. Her personality, I mean, spending time with her. She could be physically fit, active, enjoying playing games when it was allowed, called for. She definitely was not afraid of the boys. She could stand up for herself, but especially for others. Animals. She enjoyed animals. I think she had at least one dog. Yeah, let's pull some tarot cards and see what happened in her life. What happened in her life? What lesson she has to teach us? Oh. Oh, here we go. Cards popping out everywhere. Let's see what we got. You know what, let's just go ahead and pull the last one. I'm not feeling that's upside down. I'm feeling that I had the deck upside down. I'll set that there for now. Can you guys see this? Quite a bit of a reflection. Let me scoot these up a little bit and see if that helps at all. I have my window wide open and I have all of the lights on fairly high. So, let's see. I'm going to turn one light down. Yeah, that'll be good. Hopefully this is still fine. Okay, this is very interesting. So, it seems at some point she was approached by a certain someone for marriage. A very loving man, a well-to-do man, a prominent man, a man with a good heart. And she accepted. It seems as though, yeah, it seems as though there was quite a few difficulties in their life. Not between the two of them, but different difficulties that they had to face together. I see at some point that they moved somewhere near the coast, I want to say. Difficulties in business, difficulties with competitors, difficulties with other personalities. Mainly other males. But they withstood the tests, the trials, tribulations together. And they had a good life. I don't see children. I don't see that they ever had children. They had some kind of a business. I want to say it was a fishery or something similar to that. Perhaps even a restaurant, something like that, something to do with the coast and seafood and things of that nature. But they were happy. They had their difficulties with each other too. They could both be a little forceful in their personalities, but they enjoyed each other. You could see as they got older, they would fight just for fun. Kind of razz each other. Yeah, they had a good connection. They enjoyed each other to the end. They lived to be quite old. I want to say that they were at least in their 80s when they passed away, and it wasn't too long between them when they passed away. They led a good life. Ah, I see why they didn't have children. One of them couldn't. I want to say it might have been him that could not. But regardless of who couldn't, they stayed together. They had a happy life. Difficulties, but they led a good life. And they were loved by others. Yeah, they were definitely enjoyed by others. I'm really feeling a restaurant now of some kind there at the coast. Okay, and as for the lessons that she is able to pass on to us, it is, of course, to face your fears and to live a life of passion and empowerment. When love came for her, when an opportunity came for her, she did not turn it down. She faced it head on and she embraced it. Even if it wasn't exactly what she was looking for at the time, even though she was afraid that she might lose her individuality or her sense of empowerment, she trusted in her own heart and her own decision making. She faced that fear that was always a possibility, but not something that she could necessarily see any evidence for. She embraced it and she moved forward passionately. And of course, it was one of love and connection. They had a good relationship. through the trials and tribulations of life, not being able to bear children, moving away to a place that she had never been before, away from her family, difficulties in business and surviving, building this new business, the difficulties with competition and other strong negative personalities. She weathered the storm with her passion, with her empowerment. She trusted herself. She trusted her husband. She trusted the faith in her own decision making and in her art, in her heart and in her intuition. She trusted herself and passionately lived her life. And the outcome of everything was a life well lived. Good connection, good family ties, good reputation, good times, appreciation. She was an empowered, happy, kind, forceful personality with a good relationship, a good business, financial success, everything a success in the end. A balanced, happy, good life, well lived. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. Group number 2, I hope that resonated. If it did not, or if you wish to, please feel free to join me in group number 3. I will be speaking with you again soon. Take care. Bye. Hello and welcome, group number 3. If you chose the obsidian sphere, this is your group. Okay. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah, the sun's setting, so we're getting a lot of bright light shining in through here. Which is good, because this is a bit of a dark one. You got the card, Seeking Balance, Overwhelm. Okay, so in this previous lifetime, I am seeing a young man. He is into music. He loves music. He's a musician himself, or at least an aspiring one. But he has some very negative things going on in his life. His family situation is not the greatest. Society that he lives in is not the greatest. He's not necessarily treated very well. I'm getting a very emo, goth, punk kind of vibes, especially punk. He has friends, but I would not call them very good friends or very close friends. I'm seeing possible substances being used. Him and his friends. Yeah, going down a dark road. Enjoying his music, living his life. Fighting the system in his own little way. Trying to find his way, trying to find his freedom, trying to find his abundance, trying to find his way in life. Seeking balance. And having a very hard time with it. Whoa. That's a weird one. Haha. Okay. At some point, I want to say in a drunken stupor, or perhaps even on substances, he came across a priest. I can't see whether he was found by them or they were, or he found them himself. But regardless, it ends up with this priest seeing him in pain, seeing him in difficulty, seeing him in possible addiction, seeing him having not yet found his way, and losing himself in these negative coping mechanisms. He takes him to the church, he shows him the light. He shows him God. And the boy is actually moved. He's truly moved. I see him having sort of a spiritual experience. He cries. He really feels it in his heart that this is the way, this is that light at the end of the tunnel. He was not expecting this. He was not expecting himself to become a religious person, but he finds God. He starts going to church. He communicates with the priest. The priest sort of takes him under his wing. Starts doing better in school. He slowly lets go of the relationships that he had been building with these negative personalities, these ones that were throwing themselves into substances. He pulls away from that side of life. He still loves his punk music. He still plays. But he sees that in order to achieve the life that he wishes, which is something beyond what he's lived so far, he needs to put his nose to the grindstone. He needs to get his education, and he needs to find a career where he's making good money. And as he's doing so, although his home life and his school life aren't perfect, they do get slightly better. It's like as his inner world becomes more clear and brighter, so does his outside world. It's not perfect by any means, but it gets brighter. Okay, let's get some tarot cards and see what happens to him and what lessons he has to teach us. I'm going to move this up a little bit more, give ourselves some more fat and room. That's a movie line, by the way. It's from The Great Race, circa 1961, something like that. Okay. What happened to him? Okay, it's past. Film that. Present. Future. What lessons he has to teach us. I'm filling another card. This one. Haha, okay. Yes, good, good, good. I will set this over here. Can you guys see that? Yeah, just. This thing is not focusing very well, is it? Suppose I need to reset the focus of the camera. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Aha. Awesome. I had it set to a manual focus, but something happened. I clicked the wrong thing and it went to autofocus again, so I'll have to figure that out. But back to the cards. So the Five of Pentacles sort of represents his past, the story that I've told you so far. Him being out in the cold, him having difficulties in life, poverty, difficult family, difficult society, difficult friends, feeling alone and in darkness with little to help him, but finding his way to God, finding his way to the church, finding his way to the place where he belonged and the family that he sort of needed, his tribe. And that led him into his wish come true, his independence, his contentment, his satisfaction, emotional stability, luxury, gratitude. Might as well just read the card. But anyway, it led him to the life that he truly wanted. His faith, the divine helped him guide his life and find his inner balance, sort of his own cup of the divine. And that led him into living a life of work. He went into business. Yeah, he went into the corporate sector. He got himself a good job. Moved up the ladder. He made good money. Yeah. Met a woman. Had a family. He led a good life. He put in the work. He manifested a good life. Oh yeah, that is absolutely wonderful. I had to put a specific timeline on any of these readings, but I'm really feeling like late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Oh, that's great that turned out for him. And the star. You know, I'm going to move this up so we can see it a little bit better. Lovely. And in this case, that sort of shows what happened to him in his life and the lesson that we can take from it to find our inner light, our inner guide, that which connects us with the divine and helps lead our paths in life. In his case, he found Christianity and Catholicism, and that's what worked for him. But it doesn't have to be the case for you. Whatever divine you wish to believe in, you know, whether that's any specific religion, sort of just the esoteric idea of the divine, the universe, or even if you are full atheist and it's just trusting in your own inner self. But finding that light which helps you guide your entire life towards the positive, towards that which you desire and that which balances you, your life, and helps you become the best version of yourself that you can be for yourself and for others. Because ultimately, it's not just about us, it is about the all. Something the divine can help teach us. Yeah, so find that guiding light, find that divinity, that otherworldly something that helps you in guiding your life and finding your balance and overcoming the darkness and making the best of this life that you possibly can. Okay, well, that started out very dark, but it ended very happy. I was not quite expecting that. That was very lovely. I felt that one very deeply, and I hope you did too. I hope it resonated. If not, then feel free to watch the other two groups. Regardless, I hope you were entertained and you had fun. I enjoyed this very much. We might do this again sometime in the near future. Whenever it is for you, I hope you have a very good day, good near future. I will be speaking with you again soon. Take care. Bye.